Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. It's Jaina gaming with another episode of Heart and Soul. Wow, a lot happened last time, didn't it? We got to meet some of our husband's extended family. Well, indirectly. We got the favor of a bunch of gods, and now we're going to continue with the episodes. Are we going to be able to continue trusting our husband, or is things going to continue happening at a rapid pace? Wow, a lot happened last time, didn't it? We got to meet some of our husband's extended family. Well, indirectly. We got the favor of a bunch of gods, and now we're for this one, I think I'm gonna just focus on getting to an ending, or at least try to. I know there's a bunch of other ones, like one there's a hidden good ending where if you get Aphrodite's favor, you can oh gosh darn it, every time. Let's see, week 20. Alright, so here we are in this page. As you can see, we got Artemis, Demeter, Dionysus, Hades, Zeus, Persephone, and all we need is Hera and Hestias. So I think for this, we're going to adhere to the beauty regime, maybe roam the estate a little. So for this, we just need to prepare an offering for at least one day. And yeah. Sending a piece somewhere. See. You know, it's actually interesting because this Hestia, she is actually one of the nicest goddesses in the entire pantheon. Like, everybody loves her. The only known myth we have is, well, when she was nearly taken advantage of by Priapus, the god of male sexuality and certain appendages. She was protected by all the pantheon when she cried out in fear. So it does show that on some level they do care about each other. Yeah. I think that's actually a very sweet thing. So we're gonna offer that to Hestia. That's all right. Everything is organized as planned. The servants have erected a dignified temporal shrine, abundant with offerings and shining with torches. After cleansing for rituals, I go to kneel atop the sheepskin prepared for the altar. Taking a deep breath, I bow. O Zeus, king of the gods, this humble servant would like to express her respect and wishes that the festival to honor you will be even more successful than the last. I also wish to express my gratitude to the Father of all for allowing this lowly mortal to live. Thank you for the hospitality I was allowed to receive. For the fortunate I'm a Catholic, so that's why I'm not always so enthusiastic reading things. For the fortunate kindness I was and am being given. O Zeus, protector of the wrong, protector of the home. Thank you for allowing me to stay strong to continue on with life, for letting this mortal build a home when all odds are against her. With one last deep bow, I watch as the fire flares through times. Heart dancing in my chest, a servant helps me to my feet. This could actually be a reference to how in ancient Greek society, Xena wasn't only sacred, but necessary for anyone involved in it. To break it is to basically go against the gods themselves. So, it's nice that it gets a reference. Shall we take the celebration inside? Of course, preparations for dinner have finished and it is ready to be served. Wonderful! Gather the others, please. Let us make our own merriment and celebrate the festival. Together, as far as I can tell, we all have a lovely evening enjoying the festivities from afar. Pray fervently to the goddess of beauty, hoping she will forgive my slight against her. I'd like to do more to show. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm just going to focus on Hera for right now, just, to be sure. I'm going to roam these. I'm having a scribe on. Though not a grand gesture as I would have liked. How long I have a handful of brains. I dedicate my offers to you, but I know it's not much, but I should hope it would make you happy. Vineyard. Yeah, that works. The hairs on the back of my neck rise as I finish up my evening meal. Without the servant saying a word, I get the feeling we are about to receive a visitor again. Someone approaches. It is not safe to remain out in the open. So it's interesting that we are getting so many visitors. It was like they clear away my plate in a flash, trying to make the place look uninhabited. Before I can contemplate finding a hiding place, the servants speak again. Hurry and leave! There is no time! Shocked at the tone of voice, I let invisible hands tug me down the hall and into my bedroom. Though the princess in me bristles at such treatment, I am grateful to not need to choose between eavesdropping or staying safely away. That is, until I hear footsteps approaching down the hallway. She is coming! This way! Quick, you must hide! Crawl under the bed. I dive under our marital bed, worming my pregnant body underneath it as far as I can. The pressure on my belly is immense, but now that I'm down here, I manage to twist my torso so that my stomach can rest on the stone floor. I make it not a moment too soon. Where are you, my son? I need to speak to you. My husband's mother. My mother-in-law is here. I pray she does not find me. I cannot imagine a worse beginning for our meeting. As we told you, he has not arrived home yet. She lets out an exaggerated huff. Yes, I can see that now. I will wait for him then. Would you not be more comfortable out in the main hall? This will work fine. After what seems like an eternity, my husband comes in from the window. Oh, that must be a stunning image to find. Got it. Yeah. Must not be an easy thing to navigate. Mother, what are you doing in here? I need to speak to you, my son. It is urgent. Oh, what troubles you, dear mother? Perhaps I can help. The next part of their conversation is almost inaudible as they speak. They are speaking close and at a low volume. I have to lean in a bit closer to listen. Elude my search, and I have searched everywhere. I have even visited that despicable half-brother of yours. The half-brother, so it's one of Ares' kids. I don't know who that could be. Mother, he is not despicable, and he has a name, you know. I don't know. Maybe, do you guys know? I'll leave in the comment. Yeah, that's true. And it's good, and I'm happy to have you here with me today. All the changes. I am not sure. My husband mutters something I cannot hear, which prompts my mother-in-law into letting out a loud, frustrated sigh. I disagree. Do not set your jaw like that. It is unbecoming. Wow, even as a grown man, he's still under the thumb of his mom. He really is a mama's boy. And that is why Psyche is such an amazing heroine. She faced what no man possibly understand, the fear of her mother-in-law. I have told you before, Mother, and I shall. Yes, I remember. But you also travel more than I do. You know, the lands and the people much better than I do. A long sigh, almost theatrical, follows her words. Sometimes I think you are doing a much better job at our duties than I am. Mother. Is it true, you know? I am growing older. Less popular. Being surpassed by someone like her? The people have forgotten me and my tributes dwindle every day. I fear I am past my prime. That's actually an interesting take on Aphrodite than just she's jealous because someone said she's hotter than her. Yes, she's a goddess, but it can't be easy. But well, it can't always be easy. If your whole thing is about your beauty and charm and someone thinks you're better than that. It can be hard. And I actually like how they do kind of give more of an explanation on why she hates Psyche other than people claim that she's more beautiful. I managed to stifle a gasp as my child pushes against my belly. Now is not the time to let out a single sound. Good girl. At least I am able to lie somewhat comfortably. Mother, we both know what you say is simply not true. This is only temporary. You are only experiencing an anomaly. It is necessary to compromise your well-being or time to be so concerned over such a trivial matter. A pause. Are you suggesting I am overreacting? If I may be so bold, yeah. How dare you! Mother, nearly everyone regards you as the most beautiful woman in existence, past, present, and will continue to do so in the future. Nearly everyone? Oh, someone made Mama angry. My husband lets out a long sigh. You are fishing for compliments, Mother. I am sure there are far more flattering people out there than your son. Of course they are, but I trust your opinion. The trust that I think of highly of you. Come now, let us head into the main hall and have the servants pour some wine. We can talk about whatever you wish. Yes, that is true, but those are children of Aphrodite's, and it was specifically half-siblings of Eros from presumably his father. So I'll have to look that up soon. I breathe a sigh of relief when she agrees into 2 league. Now, never would I have thought my mother-in-law would burst into our room the way she did, even being oblivious to her son's marriage. Hopefully it will never happen again. It takes longer than I expected for my husband to return. In fact, he enters just as I'm about to fall asleep. Are you alright? I am. Sorry, did I wake you? I wave off his concern. No, I cannot seem to fall asleep anyway. Yeah, Phobos and Deimos are actually his full siblings, since their mother is Aphrodite. At least as far as I know. Maybe, then again, mythological tradition does tend to change from time to time. Like, there's both that Aphrodite is a daughter of Zeus and Dion, while also being Uranus's, created from Uranus's, and Seafoam. The bed dips as he sits down beside me, pulling me into his arms. Relief floods me at his warmth, his hand caressing through my hair rhythmically. But I can feel his heart beating just a little too fast, his movements stiff and somewhat agitated. My mother visited again. I try not to let my worry show, even in this darkness. I see. Did she give you any trouble? You can say that. I'm sorry to hear that. You have nothing to apologize for. My mother has a habit, or should I say, she always reacts to issues remotely concerning her. Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's honestly what I thought in the first place, but then she specifically says half-sibling. And I mean, it could also be hermaphroditus, but I don't know what. But he's not really a world traveler. And she does call him wretched, so it's probably from Aries. I mean, Aries does have a lot of kids. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, we all saw what she did during... Nelius? I mean, that's possible. I'll look into that. Thanks, Laroche. And she has a difficult time letting anything go. Oh yeah, we know. Remember the Trojan Wars, where she literally started a war to make her ship come true? Or how about when a lady implied that her baby daughter was more beautiful than her, then made the poor girl be so overcome with lust for her own. No good way to end that, but again, Oedipus in reverse. And then the competition is all about having to prove she's the most beautiful. Yeah, I think this actually might be the part where he talks more on his siblings. I think so. Did she come to you with the same issues as before? There's a brief pause and he sighs, his arm tightens around me, a hand resting over my stomach. Yeah. But the matter should resolve itself soon. That is good then. Indeed, I was expecting her visit again after the first time, but I did not wish to disturb you. It seems I have worried you regardless. It's alright, husband. Family can be complicated. Family is usually complicated. That is true. I mean, she did force Helen to be with Paris during the closing ends of the Iliad. Helen even told her that she loves Paris so much, why doesn't she be with him? It's actually, honestly, I actually really want a story focusing on Helen that's more of a psychological horror. Because by the end of the Iliad, she was actually always so overcome with grief over her actions, whether they were consensual or not, that she actually blows up at the literal goddess of beauty and I know refers to and constantly shames herself for being a little promiscuous woman. Honestly, I think that her story is ripe for a psychological horror reimagining. Where, I mean, it would be, I mean, she's trapped in a city where everybody hates her, and there's a very real chance that that she'll be killed as an adulteress if she tries to escape to the grief camp. I honestly, and most of the modern retellings still paint her as just a promiscuous harlot who falls in love with Paris, or is just very dumb, like Troy Fall of the City. I honestly don't get what she sees in Paris, but especially when she has a daughter back home. And mine is more complicated than the rest. Complicated is one word. I mean, they're basically... Oh yeah, psychological thriller. Like, I have so many ideas for it. I posted something on Tumblr under another of my blogs. I could link it to you if you want. But basically, my idea is that she starts having hallucinations of all the people as the work starts to come to a close. The full repercussions come upon her as she realizes how much damage has been done to Troy, and well. Remember, Iphigenia is her niece, and she was sacrificed for her. Remember all the people and women and girls who are being killed or slaughtered or enslaved because of this war. All the men and boys who have been taken from their homes and families. Maybe I'll link... Yeah, I mean, I'll have to sign in, but sure. But yeah, I really do love the idea of a Helen story, which frames it more of the psychological thriller than a tragic romance. Since, yeah, it's really not if you get down to it. I chuckled lightly against his neck. So you have said, are your siblings going to start visiting us too? Yes, I finally know things. It slips pursed into a pout against my forehead, making me giggle. I do hope not. I did not need them to make a mess of our home. Maybe after our child is born, they might be allowed to visit, but only some, mind you. You do not seem very fond of them. I would not say I'm not fond of them. I only wish to save you from the headache. Especially the two brats who my dad constantly brings to war. Do you not like them? No, it's not that. They're my brothers. It's just, they're pains in the butt. All they care about are being little... I chuckle again. How thoughtful. I will have you know, beloved, I am the most thoughtful. And most humble, too. He pinches my cheek, making me break into fits of giggles, laughs along, rumbling his sounds that rolled pleasantly in his chest. Not all of them are awful, though we're just not close. Would you tell me a bit about them? Well, they're the twins. They were born from the union between my mother and her second husband. They're warriors, though somewhat unremarkable. They always follow their father into battles. They have an elder sister whose fate is constant tragedies, partly due to resentment stemming from my mother's first husband. Oh dear. So I guess in this version he's not Ares' son, or... But I know this is referring to Harmonia, since she's actually the goddess of harmony, and while she was genuinely in love with her husband, Hephaestus created a magical necklace that can grant beauty and youth, but it also causes tragedy to anyone who wears it. There is another saying that Ares cursed them too, but I'm not sure. Oh dear. So yeah, actually, you might have been right on Phobos of Deimos, though I'm not sure. Yes, it was a very strange and painful situation. Her husband was also pulled into the mess, poor Cadmus. They fortunately managed to appeal to the gods' mercy and are now living in peace, as snakes. That is good, at least. Yeah, she is one of the better members of my family. The sibling I suppose I am closest to was born from one of my mother's wilder endeavors. Either hermaphrodite or Priapus. Oh, yeah. He is perhaps the most unfortunate of my siblings. Due to my actions, my mother was cursed by Hera, and my brother was born deformed. Mother abandoned him at birth, horrified by his appearance. I have no words, only the image of a small, helpless baby crying for its mother. I rubbed my hand over my stomach, thinking of my own child. I know, but don't let it trouble you too much, my love. He grew to become one of the finest and most talented of my siblings. Another good ending to another deserving person. Then that is a small comfort. Indeed, I am happy that my brother and sister are happier now. Other than them, I have two full brothers. One follows my mother absolutely everywhere, the other is a bit... So this could refer to Aunt Eros. How do I describe him without sounding mean? I giggle as he hums dramatically. He is quite vengeful, to say the least. Dark personalities and such. Would you dare say fruity? You said it, not I. I slap his chest, smiling as he laughs. Come, let's get you to sleep. He carefully tucks me in and curls around me protectively. His song hums quietly among the walls of our sanctum, and lures me away from all my earthly worries. Snuggled into his warmth, I let sleep consume me, knowing that I am safe. I spent the day reading one of the books. It's extensive due to his travels, and as I work in the field. Go down! I dedicate this to the oh god. Okay, I read that it is 5, so yeah, literally terrors. Okay, I read that it is 5 visits, and I think we're only and last time I think that was our 3rd visit, so it might be okay. Just to be on the safe side, airing to imprint. There we go. I'm gonna prepare an offering, just something. I look out the window, eagerly having invited my sisters for lunch for another day. Though our visits do not always leave me feeling the best, they work wonders at chasing the loneliness away for a while. The servants open the garden doors to let them inside and beam when I see them. Sisters, I am so pleased to see you again. Thank you for making the journey. But it's actually interesting to note that this story is a much later borderline Roman invention, because before that, Eros had been actually a pro-Chanel guy. Though he was depicted as a young child, it seems that as we get more, the earliest we can say that he was the son of Aphrodite is about 400 BC. But before that, Eros and Hesiod, which was the oldest one way after the Mycenae and the Dark Ages, said that he had been a pro-Chanel guy along with Gaia and a result of chaos. So, but later adaptations either make him the son of Aphrodite and Zeus or Aphrodite and Ares. I know actually there was one statue where that's Roman in origin, Mars with arrows at his feet, chomping at his legs. And he doesn't seem to mind. Sisters, I am so happy to see you again. Thanks for making the journey. My sisters look me up and down, no doubt surprised to see how much my stomach has grown since they last saw me. Oh, Psyche, only you can be so radiant when you are so heavy with child. But of course, it is our Psyche we are talking about. Even Aphrodite cannot compare. Okay, bitches, can you, not get me... Well, thank you for checking in, I hope you'll be here tomorrow. But thank you for watching. Thank you. Anytime, dear sister. I am glad we did get to this scene where So, what are we having for lunch today? I become so spoiled whenever I eat here that I complain about our chefs for a week when I get home. We take our seats at the table and we are immediately served a lavish meal by the invisible help. So are you excited for the baby to be born? Absolutely! I look forward to meeting the little one so much and spending our days together. Amara lets out a snort of laughter. I turn to her in surprise. What is funny? Babies make the absolute worst companions, and knowing my husband. Yeah, that's true. That is saying something. Really? But do mothers and babies not share a beautiful, loving bond? Oh, Psyche, you have much to learn. I have 2 children at home, and I let the servants look after them as much as possible. I find the less I see them, the more I like them. Oh. Will you be able to hire a wet nurse? They really do make life so much easier. I feel sorry for women who have to feed their babies day in and day out. Ugh, I agree. The milk coming in and I leaving again after the first week was hard enough. Yeah. It is actually kind of cute seeing the baby. And this actually makes sense because they were trying to give, because the Romans believed they were descended from Venus and Mars, they wanted to give more parental connotations to both of them. I do not regret having another take on the trouble of producing. Oh, wonders? I do not think that will be possible to me. I suppose I will have to provide the child's milk myself. Poor thing, that will be a struggle of days. Yes, but I appreciate your life now. So, the difficult after birth. Have I been mistaken? Hold on to hope so fiercely that this child will change my life for the better? Will things only get worse? The servants here will be here to assist in all other ways. Hopefully that will be enough. Oh, will his family come to visit the baby when it's born? Are they excited? They want to see the baby, not me. I'd hoped the promise of a child would endear them to me, but I've had no such luck. Yeah, I think if they found out you were pregnant, they'd hurt you. Regardless, I hope you have an eventful delivery. Oh yes, those are fraught with danger. Let us hope our little Psyche will survive, okay? Survive? I know childbirth can be lethal, but I had yet to give it a thought. Now it seems unbelievable that I have been so carefree all this time. What do you think the baby will look like? Will it take after his father? We should hope it looks like Psyche. It's better than the famed beauty of the world. Excellent point, Serena. Still, Psyche, what would the baby's features be if it inherited from its father's features? Yes, the baby would have blue eyes and blonde hair. I'm sure that his features and yours will produce a beautiful child. Perhaps their looks will even surpass yours. If they do, I would not mind. My looks will fade over time anyway. Do you think your husband will still love you when they do? Mine never had much interest from the start, but childbirth and time only worsen things. Psyche and her husband seem to have a perfect relationship, though. Maybe that would be the case if the only reason he married her was for her beauty. Is that likely? Oh, darling, why else would you marry her? Do you excel in any other area? I suppose not. Just appreciate the happiness while it lasts. It can be so fleeting. Right. Sorry to change the subject, but do you mind if I keep up the amateur? You have so many of them. Of course, I will never deny you, Mara. You are welcome to go with her if you would like. How generous of you, sister. I breathed a sigh of relief when the servants escort them finally out of the house. I love my sisters dearly, but seeing them in short bursts from time to time seems to be more than enough. My sisters were here again today. Yeah, ouch. My husband freezes, having just climbed into our bed. He speaks slowly, as if choosing his words with care. How did that go? About the same as it usually does. I think we share a meal, I share some of our good fortune. They share tales of their own happy. Oh, I realized I had completely forgot about my sister's children. I do not recall ever meeting them. Is that not the saddest thing? What a terrible answer I am. I'm sure you had a good reason you were unable to visit. You certainly do now. I hope so. Did anything of consequence occur? Was I a topic of conversation? Wave off any concerns we have. Yes, but they ask about you every visit. I always change the subject or just make up an answer to appease them. Does that bother you to lie? You're always so open and honest with me. I would guess untruthfulness did not come easily to you. Well, yes it does, but it is a price I am willing to pay in order to see them. Psyche. He sighs, and he knows he has another. I know he has another lecture ready for me. Come here, my love. My husband pulls me into his embrace with my back against his chest, his hand cradling my womb. I've spoken to the goddess of fate again. Tyke warns that the danger they pose now is greater than ever. Could this be true? What does that mean? It means to be careful, dear wife. Please stay safe for your sake and our child's. Postpone their next visit until after the baby is born. Is this an order? Will you bar them from coming? No, my love, I will not do that to you. Invite them here if you wish, and we will deal with any consequences that come our way if you have to. I believe we can get through whatever hardship may come. I love you, Psyche. So much. Though his warning disturbs me, his affectionate words warm my heart. But honestly, it is interesting to note how they do kind of say that she doesn't seem to have any other qualities beyond her her beauty, but you can see that she's a very kind, compassionate, even sometimes naive girl, but she just wants to help others. And from what we know from the mist, eventually she'll go to hell, to the underworld and back just for the one she loves. Love you too. Let's see, my thoughts and prayers. Experience. I think I just need to get her over 30, so. Oof. We're at week 32. The servants instruct me on various stages of growth for birds. I take some grace. I decide to, with all sincerity. Through my body trembles in fear the whole time, I pray to the god and goddess of the underworld to grant safe passage for all souls that enter their domain. Having successfully stuck away from his duties for another afternoon, my husband carefully guides me through the hallways of our home. What shall we be doing today, my husband? It sounds like you're looking forward to this already, despite not knowing what I have planned. All the activities you have prepared for us so far have been brilliant. Of course I'm excited, dear one. What the heck? An unfamiliar song is being played. Must be another creation he's come across during his travels. He turns me to face him, placing my palms into his. We are trying something a bit different this time. I dance. Oh? But I cannot see. Would that not be dangerous? Especially if my stomach is so distended? As long as I am here, you shall never fall asleep, Psyche. I will never let any harm come to your child. Of course, I would be delighted to try this with you. With every swell of the music, our bodies move together. He never lets me stumble, not even once. Even if my step falters, he would follow me, turning a mistake into a tender flow. I know he must be an ethereal creature, but the way he guides me through the rhythm is simply divine. As if the ground beneath us is made of clouds, as if the songs we dance are being played by the muses. They probably are, and you probably are being lifted. It does not command me through the music. He introduces me to every note, melding us both into each other until we become one with the melody. The tide of music lowers to the silence. I find myself leaning against his solid, reassuring frame, smiling into the scent of cinnamon and sunshine. That has been truly magical. I genuinely like that they do fall in love over the course of the time she's here. It's sweet. Thank you for sharing this with me, beloved. I look forward to making many more memories with you. I'm so glad to do. Thank you for sharing this with me, beloved. I look forward to making many, many more memories with you in the months and years to come. Well, at least that went down, but our curiosity is still pretty out there. I said most of mine. Let's see. My husband warns me that his travel will not be hindered by weather. The only change in his schedule will be due to the shortening of the day, and since he will return home sooner, I will get to spend more time with him. Still, I am growing restless. Just a silly notion, especially with everything so readily available to me. Perhaps a walk will clear my mind? Being in the garden always soothes my troubled soul. The air is sweet with a scent of blooms and just a touch of chill, caressing my skin as I stroll down my favorite path. I close my eyes, inhaling until my lungs are the cusp of bursting and let out a great sigh. I have all that one could want for, and yet this melancholy does not leave me be. In the golden red canopy above, a cuckoo croons. The hollow wooden sound echoes endlessly over the empty garden. I bring my arms around myself to try and rub the warmth that seemingly has escaped me. Cuckoos lay their eggs in the nest of other birds. My mother said once when I was young that the servants tended to the songs behind our garden. The hatchlings are often hatched and raised by their host, a parasite. Something turns uncomfortably in my stomach. Without much care for within sake, without a husband by my side during the day, am I just like one of those birds? A guest in my own home, not entirely uninvited, but has no other purpose other than just waiting among the halls, being pampered by people who I do not know, cannot see. Is it really my home? Do I truly belong here? Once uncertainty rears its ugly head, self-doubt quickly follows. Anxiety crashes against me like a tidal wave. The spiking sense of melancholy rose within my insecurities, letting out a shuddering breath after another. I kneeled down onto the grass, hands clasped together. O Hera, queen of the gods, goddess of women and marriage, this humble mortal has no favor to ask, only guidance your mercy allows. The wind rushes around me. I brace myself against the sharp air, keeping my head lowered. I am grateful for the shelter provided to me, the safety, the comfort, but I have no purpose other than just endlessly waiting for a promised day to come. Ashamed, I hang my head. I know I should not think so, but my situation is better than most, but I cannot be rid of this feeling. Am I truly his wife if we cannot walk side by side in light? Am I truly the lady of this house when my days slip by without purpose? Am I truly needed, or am I just a glorified guest? Oh, white-haired hair. That's actually a good point. They actually, it's nice that they reference that. What should I do? What should I do with these feelings when I have nowhere to go? Above me, the cuckoo croons again, echoing into the wind, into my heart, to my troubled soul. Somehow the sound fills out the hollow spots inside me. Like liquid gold, it knits and mends the cracks of my soul so I may continue on for another day. It does not entangle the mess of my heart, but it does make the pain bearable somehow. Feelings, tears of gratitude welling up in my eyes, I bow deeply. Towards the darkening sky, the cuckoo coos one last time, shuddering at the rustling of its wings, so different from my husband's, but somehow soothing. It sounds like hope, like endurance, like the will to continue surviving. Which is definitely what she'll need. Looks like we've got everybody, so... let's do that. I really want to see if there are any more hidden messages. Like, we haven't done anything for Hestia, though. Let's prepare an offering. Today, so yeah. So that was actually, I actually really liked that a moment for her. I mean, this life can't be easy. Using the little spinners. I know there's a secret ending where if you continue to keep it low, I'll just keep it like this, though. I have felt loneliness building to its extremes again in these past few days. Though worry sits in my stomach like a solid stone whenever I recall my husband pleading with me to keep my distance. I implored Zephyrus to carry Amara and Cyrena here on his wings for a 5th time. My beloved sisters, come in. Let's see, where is my autosave? Oh, it looks like we do have some autosaves. I'm just going to fix this a little, so... I'm just gonna save here for future notice. So we can come back, because I know they're only... And Hestia. Okay. I have felt loneliness building to its extremes again these past few days. The worry sits in my stomach like a solid stone whenever I call my husband pleading with me to keep my distance. I implore Zephyrus to carry Amara and Cyrena here on winds for our final time. My beloved sisters, come in. It's been a while, Psyche. We've been anxious to see you again. Thankfully, our living situation is so comfortable, though, that we knew not to worry about you. I'm saddened to hear your comparison of our lives. I know the estate is grand, but I was hoping things would have improved for you by now. Maybe if you were more generous with your dear sisters who you supposedly love. Wow, bitch. Which? Lunch is ready. Thankful for the interruption, I motioned for all of us to sit down on our own chairs instead of at the table today. I'd only been standing for a few short moments, but I am grateful for the chance to rest again. The child weighs heavily on my form. The servants bring us a light but flavorful meal with fresh vegetables harvested from this very garden, grilled lambs, warm egg pastries. As we eat and talk, the warnings my husband had repeated it to me time and time again about my sisters not having my best interest rings continuously in my head. Frowning, I put down my half-eaten meal. Connection to the gods or not, he has not even met my sisters. He has not even met my sisters. He does not know those I grew up with. My sisters, who I love so much and adore. Psyche? All this time he had worked to try to separate us, and I tire of my mind being pulled in two different directions. Psyche! I jolt my attention, returning to the conversation in hand. Sorry, what were you saying? I want to know where specifics about your husband. It has been too long. You have always skimmed on the details. Well, yes, Lisa's her name. Someone who possesses such magnificent properties has such wonderful qualities must be famous. Famous? Indeed, he must at least be a prince. No, a king, perhaps even a god. I stammer, unable to cut into their gushing. My mind scrambles, trying to find a way to distract my sisters, but I cannot come up with anything. As I gape at Serena and Amara helplessly, they both turn their bright eyes to me. So, who is he, Psyche? What is his name? Yes, you must tell us. We are dying in suspense here. Feeling unable to lie to them anymore, the truth tumbles out instead. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? With a long sigh, I slowly explained my current predicament to my sisters. They stay surprisingly quiet, listening to my words intently as my story comes to a stop. They exchange a long look. Psyche, this is not good. Not good at all. I know, he isn't very kind to me, and he keeps me safe. Psyche, it has been well to be a guy here to take advantage of you. How can you trust someone who hides you from your family, who has never been truthful to you from the start? I startle at their words, hugging myself as tears begin to fill my eyes. Serena puts a hand on my shoulder. You know as well as I do that this is not right, Psyche. I know. You have been together with him for so long. Is it not time you are allowed to know who he really is? Correct. If you cannot trust you as something as basic as a scientific, then what more is he hiding from you? I find myself unable to come up with a defense. Oh, sweet, naive Psyche. Perhaps he never allows you to see him because he is indeed the horrible serpent the oracle spoke of. That must be so. That must be why he does not allow you to see him. He knows once you discover that he isn't deceiving you, you will be disgusted and run away. Could they be right? Would my husband be a monster? Oh, poor Psyche, tricked into bed with that thing. No, it cannot be! What other reason is there? Has he not been keeping you here, away from your family, away from those who care about you? You must know someone who cares for you can expose this farce right away, or he cannot work his dark magic on us. Are you calling her stupid? Are you not at least a bit curious about who your husband really is? Yes, but we have an agreement. Have you thought he might have been lured you into that agreement to keep you here unquestioned? Our men are always self-serving. You cannot save and shelter you for nothing, against the gods, no less. But yet, the words will not come out of my mouth. I know what I want to know. Curiosity has always been burning within me. I want to know him. I need to know him. You're right. I've been so foolish. Don't smile at that. You made your sister cry, which is... Psyche, if he really turns out to be a monster, what would you do? I don't know. If he wakes up and sees you trying to uncover his terrible secret, oh, Psyche, he will surely kill you. Could the man I have come to know and love really be capable of such a thing? Confusion and distraughtness swirl within me. My sister speaks so passionately with so much conviction that it's hard to think. You must take precautions, defend yourself. defend herself. Amara, this monster, this creature has sullied our Psyche. You are so right, Psyche. Psyche, you cannot let this stand. Well, what am I supposed to do, sister, if I'm alone? And if he turns out to be a monster, what chance do I have? Oh, sweet Psyche. You must arm yourself, Psyche. Arm myself? Yes, I know you would not have the heart to kill, even if he has wronged you so. But you must preserve yourself first and foremost. Who knows what that monster would do if he knows you are looking to undo his terrible secret? Oh, sisters, I don't want to know. I don't want to perish like this. Of course not, which is why, Amara, I'm telling you, you must be careful and arm yourself. After exposing his monstrosity, your safety will not be guaranteed. Hinder him however you must and return home. Psyche, don't listen to them. They've been using you the entire time. They're just jealous. Then again, one of her main faults is insecurity. My sisters returned to their home soon after, leaving to me to make preparations for us to come. I'm not ready for this, but since I have no other option. My sisters' words, oh no. Words of warnings have not left me since their visit here. It is difficult to hold on to the illusion of happy marriage when there's so many uncertainties. That my parents, sisters' supposed good matches were where our father and mother were so careful to ensure their contentments have gone astray. Well, what chance do I have? Sisters' stories feed me into my insecurity. The questions make me doubt everything further. What is his secret? Why hasn't he ever told me about his life? Well, to be fair, he did tell you about his family, and you know there is something up. Facts are difficult to deny. I do not know him. I can only see him what he allows me to see. Only knows what he allows me to know. This will stretch far into the foreseeable future, and the more I think about it, the more my situation becomes hopeless. I'm not sure I can withstand the unknown for much longer. The feeling of being left in the dark, of having to press on without knowing whether the next day will crumble away or not, kills me inside. Fear has grasped onto my hold of my heart and refused to let go. What if he truly is that terrible creature foretold in the prophecy? What if he only has been tricking me with illusions and magic? What if I walked into my fate without knowing? What if I am just another possession among the hordes in this estate? Ultimately, it is the desire to know. The withering fear haunting my step that pushes me forward to go forward with my plan. As always, I wait for him at sundown. The soft rustling of his feathers heralds his arrival. His gentle breathing fans my guilt blazing. Hello, sweet Psyche. Welcome home, husband. How was your day, dear Psyche? It was normal. I did not accomplish much today. You don't have to be busy every day, beloved. It's good to have a slow day sometimes. I suppose. Now tell me. Tell me about what I've come across. It's been a strange journey indeed. His tail drifts into the night. His hands weave into my hair as we lay together. For once, I keep myself awake long enough after his breathing evens out. A difficult feat, spending off sleep when my husband's voice is more powerful than Hypnos himself. His soothing presence alone is usually enough to bring about my dreams. But I resist today. Stroking his face, I run my fingers across his noble brows. I'm sorry. Quietly, I slip from his embrace. Behind the drapes, an oil lantern is waiting. With shaking hands, I pick it up. My eyes land on a knife I prepared as for my sister's urging. Something sour and sick rises in my throat. It feels wrong. It feels so wrong. It feels so very wrong to hurt my husband like this. While he is so unaware and trusting. Has he really been trusting? A marring star ring as words dance in my head, pulling up all the uneasiness and fears I have been trying so hard to bury. Why should I trust him when he has not shown me the same courtesy? With tears in my eyes, I grasp the knife's handle, feeling a piece of my heart die at the motion. This is it. The lanterns come alight, shedding an orange glow over our ever-shaded room. The small shudders along with my steps as I make my way towards my husband, scared and anxious of who or what I might find. Oh no, it's just a twin. It's just a pretty boy. Lying asleep on the bed is the most beautiful creature I have ever laid my eyes upon. His hair is golden as is spun from silk, his skin fair and warmed by the sun, his wings whiter than snow. His body more sculpted than finest statue. I have to say, I'm surprised they used blue as his main color scheme instead of something like red or pink. But it does kind of even out with her clothes. Leaning against the side of the bed is a quiver full of golden arrows and a lovely bow engraved with the symbols of love. Curious, I reach for one of the arrows. The knife in my hand makes me clumsy. Another gasp escapes me. Ah! Pulling away, I notice a drop of blood on my finger. As I turn back to my husband, a warmth envelops my entire being, mysterious and divine. There's no question about it. Eros. I am married to the god of love? Every fiber of my body whispers his name as I struggle to not fall upon my... Aw, you can actually see he has a wedding ring on his ring finger. As I struggle not to fall upon my knees before him. Watching his chest rise and fall with every breath, his arms falling tenderly on my side of the bed. I'm suddenly overcome with emotion. My husband is the god Eros. And my husband is the god Eros. Unable to stop myself, I lean over, placing a kiss upon his lips. Ah! You know, in my search of desire, I've been careless. To my horror, the lamp slowly has spilled over, burning away his pristine wings. I fell backward, watching helplessly as my husband, the god of love, writhes in pain. In some versions, it's actually his heart that the oil falls on, which is why it hurts him so much. Ah! His eyes meet mine, filled with betrayal and pain. Psyche! You betrayed me! No, beloved, Before the lantern's dying light, he spread his wounded wings. Into the darkness, he swoops away. No! No! Come back! Please! Frantic, I chase after him into the night. But he is long gone. No. Love cannot live without trust. This is actually something Eros says, because in some ways she actually catches his ankle, and when he says that, he manages to pull away from her grief. And in others, actually she beats the god Pan, who encourages her to go to the goddess Demeter and the goddess Hera for advice on what she should do. The last of his voice lingers as I collapse. Crying as my safe haven, my love leaves me. The devastation of his departure leaves me numb. No matter how much I cry, no matter how long I wait, he never returns. The servants of the state no longer answer to me. I speak to the empty halls until my voice grows hoarse, but I perceive nothing. Even the garden seems quieter, the fields wilting and the winding paths lonelier. My betrayal is driven away all around me, so away. My patience ruined, the only thing keeping me going all this time. In a matter of minutes, my reality was shredded to pieces, and my love has flown away to a place where I cannot follow. He's gone. He's gone. It's all my fault. In the time that follows my new miserable solitude, I reflect upon myself, weighted by my guilt. In some moments, I blame my own curiosity. My curiosity has killed my chances of happiness when it was so close at hand. Eros is Aphrodite's son, the very goddess of beauty whom I cited. Eros came to me, fully knowing the offense I bear, and chose to care for me, protect me anyway, yet I have failed and betrayed his trust and love. I broke my vow to him, and now I must pay the price. I wish my heart was not so weak, that I held out for just a little longer. At other times I blamed my sisters for enticing me with such treachery. Why did I not listen to him? Why am I so determined in getting my sisters here when I just told nothing good would come of it? Why did they have to ask? How for details I could not give? Why did I listen to them when they do not know what I have gone through? Why? Why? They say curiosity kills a cat, but it is my heart that feels dead inside. As if the devastation of his departure is not enough guilt. I actually like how it becomes darker with the windows being shut and it even feels more lonely with music saturation. You don't really see it except at night. Guilt threatens to drown me. I cannot bear to go anywhere near the bedroom. Our bedroom anymore. I can no longer look at the sharp edges of steel without feeling the waves of revulsion coursing through my veins. Yeah, I know this feeling. I wasn't exactly a perfect person to somebody else, and it ruined a lot for me, because I couldn't just keep my mouth shut. How could I even entertain such an idea? How could I even think it was acceptable in any way? How could my sister suggest such a thing? Thinking about the betrayed look in his eyes, the way he looked at me, how he left, it makes me sick. There have been so many nights where I wake up dry heaving, sobbing, hands gasping for a phantom warmth that lingers like a drop of ice in my heart, knowing that I might never feel it ever again. There have been dreams, nightmares about that night. Sometimes this is a perfect vision, every scene running through perfectly like a well-rehearsed play that I'm powerless to put a stop to. Sometimes it's even more macabre versions. The dreams where my knife sinks into his flesh. The dreams where his tormented scream rings in my ears. The dreams in which I wake up hysterical, all blood clinging around me like an unshakable shroud. Days and nights pass by unnoticed. I avoid sleeping as much as I can, fearful of the images, the visions my jaded mind could haunt me with. The only reminder to eat the child in my stomach, bitterly reminding me that I'm now alone and hopeless. Living becomes days of despair. Sometimes I would drift in and out of the estate, eyes glazed with tears and grief. I would sit in the garden long after sunset. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to any couples out there. This was supposed to be our Valentine's Day special, by the way. Perhaps only because I yearned so much, I've strained every fiber of my being to detect any sound that might be my husband. I hear their voice. Psyche, are you alive? Sister, are you there? How did it go? Let us in, will you? Emotions swell within me. None of it positive. How dare they? How dare they show up again? Are they here to laugh at my torment? To gloat at my downfall? The more I hear their voices whispering over into Zephyrus' breezes, the more my fury blazes. Hands shaking, I do not realize I have moved, until I stand before the gates, glaring at the shapes of my sisters over the expanses of the valleys. Psyche! What takes you so long? May we enter? Have you killed the monster? Numb with anger, I do not know what possesses me to answer them. Oh, sisters, what a mistake I have made. I did as you said, but it turned out it was a god of love I would share a marriage with. Despite my rage, I cannot stop the tears from coming as I speak of my beloved. He was so disappointed. I broke the trust between us. He has left me, dear sisters. I do not know what I will do now. It takes some time before I hear their voices again. So, where's this god of love now? Is he all alone? Will he take another wife? My tears dry quickly as the anger returns in full. They have never cared for me. Eros is right. They have only ever wanted to destroy my happiness. I already got the for them, so let's take revenge. I'm sure he has already started searching for another woman, one far superior to me. I heard him say that Zephyrus will carry the one who is his true partner over his expanse, guiding them safely to their new home. My words are lies. Knowing that without Eros' permission they cannot enter. Knowing that without Eros being here, having given the order, Lord Zephyrus would never ferry them to the estate. Knowing that, screams pierce the air. I close my eyes, turning away as my sisters fall to their deaths. No more. If only I'd listened to Eros. If only I'd believed my husband. If only I'd opened my eyes to their malice sooner. None of this would have happened. Similar to my... So, we got that. And this is the other one. I'll let you in the comments decide which is better for Psyche to forgive them or to... No more. Similar to my feelings the night of my wedding when I thought my life was at its end. I am now once again fearful of the wrath of the gods. Not only have I slighted Aphrodite, I have now betrayed and wounded her son. And this time there will be no mysterious benefactor to come to my aid. I must atone for my sins, even if I have no idea where to start. Aphrodite must detest me for what I have done. My sorrows mean nothing for what I have committed. Crying shall not bring back my husband, nor would it wash away the wrongs I have wrought. Eros will not return here. Even if I waited to the end of my mortal life. Even my soul is writhing pain, and my heart is in tatters. I know what I must do. I must face Aphrodite, beg for her forgiveness and her help in reconciling with Eros. Only the goddess of beauty herself can help me now. Oh, that's, poor girl. She is the only one who can wipe my slate clean, because I doubt I could convince another Celestial to spite her. Even if I wait until Eris's child is born, I cannot assert our babies of my parentage without my husband there to agree. My little family cannot save me, for I have shattered it. I pray fervently to all the gods and goddesses who might listen to look after me and guide me in my interactions with Aphrodite. I hope that when I meet her, she will have the heart to overlook my blunders. Oh, sweetheart, no. No, she won't. And allow me to see my husband and her son once more. Once that is settled, I begin to gather more tangible preparations. Even though the servants no longer answer to me, or perhaps are no longer even here, the estate is still intact. Which actually it wasn't in the original story. I scoured through the books I so meticulously organized, planning my course of actions and the route I will take. No matter what, I shall set out to right my wrongs. Honestly, I think with Psyche, her main drive is her main virtue is perseverance. I mean, it can't be easy. I shall prove my atonement, and shall the goddess bestow her mercy upon me, I shall earn my place back at his side. I stand at the gates of Eros' estate, turning my fearful eyes at Splendour's one last time. I remember so vividly the day I first came here, so scared, so tired, so convinced that it was the underworld that I was sent to. I remember how quickly the unseen servants reassured me, how mystified I had been upon realizing that I was still alive. I remember the first time he spoke to me. His voice had been so gentle, so patient. I remember how he soothed my fears, how he had vowed to protect me, to keep me safe. I remember the happier days, the days filled with wonders and enjoyments. Among the walls, I remember the tales he brought me, the tender way his fingers wove through my hair. I remember how hurt he was, how he had looked at when I betrayed his trust. Eros, I must set things right. I must at least try, not only for myself, but for the child I am bearing for him as well. With one last heartbroken look, I turn away from the place I was once safety and happiness and love, all rolled into one, and turn to what might very well be the beginning of the end. I look upon the valley towards the gate. The cool wind caresses my skin, weaving through my hair. If I close my eyes, I can just imagine its Eros' gentle touch. A tremor of emotions rocks through my body. Taking a deep breath, I brace myself. Eros told me it was Zephyrus who took me from the ritual site, across the lands, the mountains, the rivers, the valleys, to this estate. Without the gentle west wind, no mortal can reach Eros' estate. Slowly I drop to my knees, opening a cloth I have opened for myself. Upon it, an offering of a fresh loaf of bread, wine, and flowers. Zephyrus, god of the west wind, this mortal girl is greatly indebted to your kindness, for bringing me to my husband when you did. I lower myself to the ground, my forehead touching the grass, and my prayer continues. Lord Zephyrus, I have done a terrible thing. Indeed, I have betrayed the one I should have trusted the most. I have disappointed and wounded my husband. I have broken his heart. I know I am only now alive because of the God who loves mercy, and perhaps that is what is left of his love for me. I must atone for the wrong I have wrought. I must find a way to Aphrodite's temple. I must beg for the goddess' forgiveness, to do whatever it takes to see my husband again. Please, Lord Zephyrus, I am an undeserving mortal, but I dare ask for one last blessing to pass her across this valley. I shall pray to you forevermore. I shall sing your kindness to every mortal I have come across. Please. I close my eyes. Its tears burn my vision. The wind continues crossing my skin, gentle, young, and yielding. I shut my eyes, taking shuddering after shuddering breath, bracing myself for the long, dangerous journey ahead. I gather all the strength I have and lift my head. Before me is no longer an endlessly green valley beyond Eros' estate, but reaching trees and shadowed canopies. The ground beneath me is no longer the well-groomed lawn at the front gate, but a worn path winding deeper into the woods. Thank you, Lord Zephyrus. The next few days I wandered through the forest. Never in my life have I traveled alone like this. Well, I mean, unless it's the alternate beginning. Never have I imagined I would be here, heavy with child, wandering through the distant path. Anxiety courses through me at every nightfall. I startle at every sudden noise, and every unseen corner makes me uneasy. To describe my fears, I press on. cannot be too sure I'm on the right path. All I can do is put my trust in Psyche, to believe that he did not place me upon this road to lead me astray. I have not encountered a single soul aside from some harmless wild animals. Since I began my journey, it both comforts me and terrifies me that I am now alone. As the rations I packed dwindle, I forage from the abundant bushes and trees around me. I drink from fresh streams, faithfully follow the worn path ahead. As the last of my rations disappear, I find roads and signs of civilization. Relieved, I continue forward, keeping my eyes over the horizon. Hey, you there! A tall, beautiful woman, swathed in expensive yet plain clothes, gives me a disgusted look down the road. Do I know you? The nerve! Before I could react, the scowling woman approaches me and grabs my arm in a vice grip. What? Let me go! Let you go? Outrageous girl! Menace of a slave! Slave, I don't... You had the nerve to run from the goddess's temple, and now you dare act all innocent? The goddess? I yelp as the woman cruelly tugs me along. Fear consumes me. What is she trying to do to me? Foreboding feeling consumes me. Could this goddess she referred to be Aphrodite? Are we going to the temple of the goddess Aphrodite? The woman scoffs, tugging me harder. Stumbling, I follow along. Where else, foolish girl, acting all oblivious, shall not save you from your punishment? Do you know how long and hard the goddess of the beauty has been searching for you? At one point, she even offered 7 kisses to whoever could capture you. You awful witch has caused so much trouble to the goddess. I'm so sorry. Save your groveling for the goddess herself. Now come along, you. Yes. The resplendence of the Aphrodite's temple is lost on me as I am dragged in by the servants of Aphrodite and pushed down into a bow before the goddess's statue. I shudder with fear. All things I thought I would say would beg of the goddess evaporate from my mind. Prostrate yourself, girl! I obey, bending over until my forehead touches the cold tiles. This humble servant deeply apologizes for her wrongdoings. I have been foolish and have committed unforgivable slights against you, O goddess of beauty. I must atone for my misdeeds. What must I do to prove to you that I am regretful of what I have done? I am not worthy of your forgiveness, but shall do all that a mortal can to appease your wrath. Suddenly the braziers around the hall flare up, the servants gasp and jostle the floor next to me. Oh, will you now? A melodious voice reverberates across the hall. The tone chimes like music, ethereal and smoother than the finest of wines. And yet, dread paralyzes me, even worse than that night at the sacrificial clearing. Every instinct tells me to cower, to make myself small, for the worst, to fear the worst to come. Aphrodite. And that is where we... I was thinking that maybe I can go a little further. It's Valentine's Day. It's special. I'll keep going. The goddess of beauty. She's here. She despises. Your little stunt has caused me so much trouble, girl. Daring to escape from my wrath when you are but a lowly slave to me, causing such a ruckus, bringing me so much trouble. What a worthless old mortal you are. Because of you, I become the subject of gossip. Too petrified by fear to dispute her, I keep my mouth shut and head lower. There is no victory arguing with the wrathful goddess. Yeah, she does actually look like her son. You, go prepare the punishment chambers. It is due time this old wretch pays for what she has done. Yes, right away, Heavenly Aphrodite. Still not daring. Yeah, this is the goddess who literally will start wars for her ships. So, I mean, Pygmalion and Galatea, I guess. Oh yeah, and that Misty literally brings a guy's waifu to life. Happy Valentine's Day! Yeah, I decided I'm just gonna keep going until the ending, because, I mean, it's Valentine's Day. It's a special occasion. Besides, it'd be pretty sad to end off the Valentine's Day special with her being abandoned by her husband and now facing the cruelty of her mother-in-law. It is only I and the goddess alone in this vast hall now. You have some nerve showing up around here, girl. Smearing my name is not enough for you, but you harm my son as well. He is in immense pain because of you. Oh, no. I wish to ask more about his current state, but speaking is likely to upset her further. Probably the best choice, since, yeah. Footsteps resound the temple. Aphrodite's servant has returned. Ah, you're back. Yes, Your Heavenly. The cell is ready for the slave. Take her. Imprint the fear of the divine into this wretch. But do not harm the fetus. Yet. Yeah, actually in the original story, she actually flogs Psyche, which again is horrifying since she's pregnant. But before she makes her do her task, the tasks is to see if she's a good enough wife for Eros. My breath catches in my throat as I realize what's to come. As you wish, Heavenly Aphrodite. Despite my terror, I do not resist when the servant drags me away. I curl into a ball on the cold floor of my cell as Aphrodite's servant slams the door shut, sealing me inside. Heedless of the bruises and cuts along my body, I wrap my arms around my abdomen and sob as quietly as I can. I am not left alone for long. I see my servants have seen to you well enough, for now at least. There's actually in the myth, when she's confronted by Eros after this, she actually gets mad that she's going to be a grandmother. Though I mean, Aeneas has descendants, so does Harmonia. I think she's just mad that it was Psyche. There's more to come. What does the gods plan to do to me now? Fortunately for you, I have decided to be lenient. I am leaving for a party tonight, and the festive mood has made me more than merciful. My heart leaps. I do not dare speak a word. This seems too good to be true. Aphrodite gestured to a large pile of various grains and seeds taking up the majority of the room. If you can sort these into individual piles by the time I return, I will consider setting you free. My mouth drops open. This sight makes Aphrodite cackle as she turns and departs gracefully from my prison. Despair fills me as I stare upon the impossible task. For what brief time I spent working with grain fields these past months, I know such a thing would take weeks, not mere hours. How am I supposed to do this? Tears well into my eyes as I debate whether or not I should even start such a fruitless endeavor. It may only raise false hopes. But what of my beloved Eros? No, I do not have the right to call him mine. Not when I have hurt him so. Not when I have betrayed his trust. I must atone for what I have done. I must see him. I must apologize to him. Even if it is the last thing I do. The physical pain cannot amount to the emotional devastation I feel inside. With one last shuddering breath, I gather my wits and sit up, look around the cell. I can only start knowing that I shall never be able to fulfill what is asked of me. There are no windows in these cramped quarters, no way to tell the time in this place, nothing but my spiraling thoughts to listen to. The goddess of beauty despises me. She surely wants me dead. And perhaps even my child too. All because of the praises of people who did not even care for me. With fear and helplessness, bitterness comes too. Where are those crowds now? Those who cried my name. Those who so blasphemy compare me to this lowly mortal girl to Aphrodite. Where are they now as I pick grains with my bloodied hands? As I fear for the life of me and my child? Do they even remember me, or have they moved on to the next beautiful maiden? To praise her and then leave her to weather the wrath of the gods. Such is the fate are those who are left behind. Do not despair, kind Psyche. I have whipped around the small room looking for whoever spoke. Who is there? But there is no one. Not in my cell. Not outside either. I'm all alone, all by myself, with only these mounds of grains to antagonize me. Do not worry, sweet Psyche. The voice whispers soothingly again, tender, warm, kind. Like gentle fingers smoothing through my tangled hair. Like soft hands caressing my cheeks, wiping away my tears. Like the voice of my mother. Huh? A stream of ants enter my cell, steadily trickling in through the bars under the doors. Tiny legs pick up the grains, one by one, inserting them into neat little piles. Are you here to help me, little ones? Have no fear, sweet Psyche. Have no worry, kind Psyche. You offered a lonely mother comfort when she missed her child the most. You offer kindness to one who could never know you. From one mother to another, we shall help you. Rest, young Psyche, rest and have no fear. For the Lady of Golden Wheats is with you. Thank you, thank you! So I think I should be okay on the God's favor since we got all of them in gold. Though I guess I am a little worried about Hades since we didn't get a special cutscene, but then again, there was with the Autumns. But it did seem like I got Persephone's, and that should at least be enough. Exhaustion entices sleep to me, and I soon fall asleep, knowing that I am safe in the hands of Lady Demeter. But the brief and sudden blessing does not last for long. A loud slam of the door wakes me. Startled, I spring up and immediately try to make myself small when I see the person before me is none other than Aphrodite herself. What is this? As I look around, all I can see are neat piles of grains and seeds, all sorted by type, not a single piece out of place. They have done it. The ants, they really have done it. The goddess Demeter smiled upon me and has carried me through this trial. Whispering upon my greatest gratitude to the goddess of harvest. It's honestly, speaking of Demeter, it's kind of interesting because she actually does clean her cleaning up the shrine and taking care of it is actually what happens after Eros leaves her. It's actually where she meets Demeter and she helps her out. Whispering my greatest gratitude to the goddess of harvest in the depth of my heart, I bow before the beautiful Aphrodite. The task has been completed, oh heavenly Aphrodite. I can see that! Her angry tone takes me aback. Was this not what she asked me for? What have I done wrong? A fortunate girl you are, even in such a state. There are those who are willing to crawl to the ground, on the ground to help you. Very well, if this is how you wish to proceed. The goddess turns to her servant waiting outside my prison. Give this audacious girl something to eat. Bring her to me afterwards. Yes, goddess Aphrodite. I desperately cling to hope that the goddess will stay true to her word and release me, but despair wells within me. Aphrodite gives me one last hateful look before leaving. A bright cross is thrown at my feet, and the door of my cell slams closed. I do not dare to move until her footsteps recede far down the corridor. My breath leaves me in a rush and I melt to the floor. This could have gone much worse, but I survived. Thank you, Lady Demeter. Suddenly, rough movements yanked me upright far too soon after I finished my meal, leading me out of the cell. What? Are you taking me to see Aphrodite? My jailers just scoffed, gripping my arm tightly. I do not dare resist, knowing that they are acting under the goddess's orders. To her feet, I am tossed, my elbows and knees hitting the marble floor painfully. I stay crouched, head down, afraid that Aphrodite would smite me where I kneel. I must look upon the sinful mortal herself again. Since you have miraculously completed the task given to you, I have decided another test of your worthiness is in order. But I bite my tongue, quelling the crushing disappointment in not being set free. The goddess Demeter wishes to make me do endless taxes, so I drop dead from exhaustion. There was nothing I can do to stop her. My choices are to die, or die trying. Eros is worth trying for. What will you have me do next, O heavenly Aphrodite? I see you catch on quickly. Silence floods the back room. I wait upon the goddess' words with bated breath, fear rolling through my body. I have been lucky to receive Demeter's help in the first task given to me, but that good fortune might not continue this time around. If I need help again, there are no guarantees that a god or goddess will grant my pleas. Holding my head low, I tremble, avoiding Aphrodite's words like a criminal avoiding her execution. For your second task, you will travel in the company of my servants to a remote pasture. I glanced nervously at the various men and women throughout the temple. They all glare back. Upon this pasture there is a flock of sheep. Not just any sheep, mind you. Golden sheep. You are to gather a pile of their precious wool and return here with it. Golden fleece? The rumors surrounding such creatures are many, and none are particularly favorable to my situation out of every story I've heard. There's one thing all of them can agree on. The golden sheep are a flock of vicious, golden fleeced sheep with poisonous bites. Do hurry, I detest waiting. With a flutter of her gown, the goddess strolls out of the room, leaving a trail of glittering gold. The journey takes the entire night, and I am relieved when it's over. Even as the servants push me from the carriage so that I falling gracefully onto the green grass. I am relieved to have distance between us. Strong winds blow through my hair, enticing my gaze to search for any sign of my task. Over the horizon, several sparks of a golden dot in the green, among the green fields. The wind grows stronger, carrying the flock's baa's with it. They sound just like normal sheep, but I know they are far from it. How am I going to acquire the fleece from such creatures? They would trample me to death the moment I see them. Do not despair, young Psyche. Life always finds a way. The mysterious voice comes, a surprise, though one that is very welcome. Oh, divine one, but I am but a weak, mortal girl. An impossible task I was given to shear the fleece of the vicious golden sheep. What must I do, O divine one? The wind whistles around me, playing with my hair. Wait for nightfall, Psyche. Wait for the sheep to fall asleep. In their slumber they shall not harm you. Work fast. Work carefully, and you shall complete your task safely. Bowing low to the ground, I can only offer my most sincere thanks to the being who has offered their help. The wind rustles around me, please. Now, with a plan, I wait until the dusk arrives, carefully shortening the distance between me and the flock. In a different situation, I could have admired their beauty. Sparkling tufts of golden wool without a single speck of dust upon them, catching sunlight like they are on a part of Helios' chariot. Even their curved horns and hooves are tinted gold. The sheep are healthy and plump, clearly not afraid of any predators on their pasture. Patiently, I hide myself in the tall grass, moving closer or away depending on where they are grazing. As dusk falls, I cautiously approach them. As I was told, the flocks sleep peacefully and get scattering among the grass. Even the shears I have are dull. They serve their purpose, snipping away strand by strand of sheer spool. I know there are actually other versions where the river or another deity tells her to wait until they pass through a thick vines and then just take their wools off the vine's thorns. When the stars begin to fade, I've harvested enough wool and began my journey back to the temple of Aphrodite. The goddess does not smile when I present the golden fleece to her. You have completed the task. Yes, Heavenly One. Aphrodite seems angry to see that I have succeeded. This does not bode well for my potential release from this place. Your shriek of luck continues, it seems. Tell me, which god have you seduced to carry out such high favors? I would not dare, oh great... Oh, you wouldn't now, would you now? Tell that to my son. Take her to her cell, lock her up till morning. As the servants drag me away, I once again do not offer resistance. Keeping my head lowered, I said a prayer of gratitude to whoever helped me fulfill my second task. I can only imagine where hardship will come, but as long as I keep my wits about me, perhaps I can see this through. Perhaps I can see Eros again. My dinner again is just a crust of bread and half a jug of water. Before dawn, I am taken to kneel before Aphrodite. Your next task awaits, mortal girl. Yes, great Aphrodite. Let us see how lucky you can be this time. Go to the river Stygius. Your task today is to fill this jug with its water. Is that all you require of me? Do not make me repeat myself, you impudent girl. I flinched, my body instinctively leaning away from the beautiful being that despises my very existence. Fill the jug and make your way back to my temple. Need I remind you that I do not enjoy waiting? No, goddess, I shall complete the task in a timely manner. See that you do. Would it be shame if that beauty of yours would be ruined by such menial tasks like fetching water? In a whirl of laughter and glittering gold, the goddess of beauty departs, leaving me alone in the temple with her servants. They grab hold of me and we depart. I feel so bad for Psyche in this part. The sound of a thundering waterfall reached me even before I exit the carriage, loud and intimidating. Black water spill over onto jagged rocks covered with poisonous snakes, making it impossible to get near the water at the base of the mountain. I'll have to climb. Fresh air, delivered by a strong wind, rolls past me as I scale the rocks. It takes all my strength to not get blown over. I cling to the side of the mountain, carefully making my way forward on this treacherous narrow path. The rocks are sharp, the wind is strong, and the thorny brambles crawl everywhere. Along the steep walls, sand is mixed with earth, coarse and crumbling under my feet. A single wrong step and I will be falling to my death. Though it takes me some time moving at a slow, careful pace, I eventually climb dizzyingly high. Most of what I can see is cloudbursts and swirling mists and clouds. Steady, steady. Even when I maneuver through the difficult terrain, there are other obstacles in my way. The mist swirling around me, blocking my vision. Smoother rocks are slicker with moisture, slippery and dangerous. Despite my fear of the goddess of beauty, the immediate fear for my life and my child's is in this moment triumphs. I move forward. Sometimes even reduce the crawling, one tiny step at a time. Sharp pebbles dig into my skin painfully, even every small step terrifies me. Oh, how? Upon reaching the waterfall, color drains from my face. The dark water rushes forth from jagged rocks, even from up here, roaring as it falls to the abyss below. The surrounding area is covered in stones as sharp as knives. There's no other route towards the water, and the edge where I've been hanging on hops abruptly, far from the river station. It is a death trap. I'm not meant to survive this endeavor. Only a winged creature can approach this water unharmed. And hopefully we have one that'll help us. I cannot reach far enough to complete my task. I have nothing but the jug Aphrodite has given to me. Even if I fashion my clothes into a rope, I can still break the jug or fall off attempting to fill it. A rumble of distant thunder catches my attention. I look up to the misty sky, holding onto the cliff. Have no fear, young Psyche. You are not to meet your demise here, sweet Psyche. A shadow descends, majestic wings clearing away its depressing mist. An eagle soars above me. Its cries bring me hope. Actually, it would not be a bald eagle because bald eagles are native to America, but I can see why. But that's the most common depiction, so I can understand it. The eagle flies closer, picking up the jug with its beak, and flies toward the waterfall. Easily, it fills the jug with its black water and places the jug before me. Certain that I have escaped death, once more joy overtakes me. Thank you, great one. Travel safe, young Psyche. Endure just a little longer, and good things shall come. I gotta say, Zeus actually is not a bad guy in this, which is nice. Well, I mean, besides trying to get Eros to do him act as his wingman, but he, at the very least, he never tries to go after Psyche. Stay hopeful, stay resilient. With one last soaring swoop, the eagle flies away. I bow my head, muttering a prayer to Olympus before beginning my long, careful trek back to Aphrodite's temple. I return to the temple in the midst of celebration. Aphrodite is watching a lively performance, feasting upon tribute. The music and merriment stops the moment I step through the doors. You... A chill runs through my spine as she stares at me. There are a lot of words I can describe of the goddess of beauty's expression upon seeing the black water. The rage and confusion she exudes are palpable. Making her own servants cower in fear, they quickly vacate the hall, dismissed by a single, rage-filled wave of the goddess's hand. I have completed the task you have asked of me, O heavenly Aphrodite. You have completed the task. How? Oh, it's my birthday. The goddess of beauty gives me a sharp, hateful look, making me fall to my knees, keeping my head lowered to the ground. Someone must have helped you. Otherwise, you would not have been able to perform this task on your own. No mortal hand. Which gods have you seduced this time? Have you called upon my gullible son to help you? I actually stayed silent the last time, but... Okay, that's done. My concern for my husband overrides my fear of the goddess. My head snaps when I blare out, "Please, goddess, that..." A sharp pain sends me toppling over. Crumbling to the floor, I hold onto my stinging face, towering as the goddess looms over me. You have no right to speak his name, you insolent worm. A long, tense moment stretches out as Aphrodite regains her composure. A terrifying smile carves up the corners of her painted lips as she glares down at me. Very well. Very well. You are so determined to atone for your sins. I shall give you one final task. After this, I promise you that you will be freed. But it will be a very special task. A black wooden box materialized before me. unadorned with a golden lock. It looked very unassuming. And yet dread curls at the pit of my stomach as if a seemingly innocent object. What horror has she planned for me this time? Psyche, most beautiful of mortals. If you truly wish to prove how determined, how remorseful you are, you shall complete this task. You must take this box and venture into the underworld, where you shall beg Persephone, Queen of the Dead, to lend her cosmic sign. May prepare for a party. After you have successfully completed this task, mercy shall be granted to you, and your sins shall be absolved. Now leave my sight. Unable to utter a sound, I pick up the box, shaking hands with a bow that almost sends me toppling over. I drag myself at the temple. God, please in heaven, Jesus Christ, please let me have filled it up enough that I don't get a bad end like last time. All hopes evaporating like the last sunlight over the darkening horizon. But I felt despair over the task given to me before. This time I know I'm walking towards my death. The underworld is a land of the dead, and only the dead walk there. A land shrouded in mysteries, only spoken of in fearful whispers. A realm invisible to the living, made solely for the dead. Living mortals are forbidden from entering. Those who are foolish enough to test its ruler's patience shall be sentenced to torments unthinkable, so those stories go. Hopeless is not even the word I can describe how I feel. Dread fills my entire being, but even the words is not even close to how paralyzed I am. Thinking about the task, the demand placed over my head, I cannot even cry. Tears would not make me feel any better. I could collapse, I am. Screaming my heart out to the sky, and none of the terrible thoughts swirling my mind would disappear. My body quivers when I think about what will happen to me and my unborn child when I make the journey. There's no outcome from this endeavor that would end my death and torture us both. No living being knows where the road to the underworld, so I wander aimlessly throughout the night. My feet carry me back to the cliff where the black water of the river Estage roars below. Only the dead can find their way to the underworld. Only the dead. How much farther can I go? Where else but death is waiting for me? But the God's blessings, I have completed the task before this is reaching the underworld. As a living, Heracles, Heracles, Theseus, Pirithous, quite a few others. Orpheus also. No, I stare down at the abyss, my arms encircling my swollen stomach. There's only one way for a mortal to make it to the underworld. There's only one way. I close my eyes. My eyes are deafened. My body. Halt, young Psyche. My ears are deafened by the roaring water. My body trembles as I accept my... Halt, young Psyche. Oh, thank God of heaven! Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. This is actually the part where I actually failed before. And, yeah, I didn't manage to win favor with either Persephone or Hades. So, I'm actually really excited to get to this part because I have not seen what happens after it. A multitude of voices whisper through the air, stopping me in my tracks. You are not alone. You are close. Your suffering shall not be in vain. Who is there? There are many of us who wish to see you succeed. We shall guide you on your journey to the underworld. The goddess of the hearth and the god of wine have prepared 2 barley cakes, soaked in honey and wine, and left them at the base of the mountain for you to find. Take both of them with you, carrying one in each hand. Then to the end of the earth you shall travel where the ferryman awaits. 2 coins you shall keep between your lips. And over the river Styx, 2 coins you shall keep between your lips, and over the river Styx you shall pass. Into the castle you shall enter, where Hades and Persephone are waiting you. Do not despair, sweet Psyche. Justice shall be delivered to you, should you succeed on this journey. Gratitude overwhelms me. Today might not be my last after all. I wrap my arms around my stomach, holding my dear child as best as I can. Thank you. Thank you all for it. Thank you for all you have saved us both. After I kneel to bow at the dark horizon, I retreat from the mountain and find the 2 coins and 2 cakes. Standing up, I tuck the coins into my clothes and grasp the baked goods. Following the direction of the wind, I brace myself and begin my journey. I will come before Eros. I will see him again. Just a little longer, just a little more. Needless, the journey to the end of the earth, end of the world is long and difficult. I follow the path given to me, surviving on wild berries and stream water. How has the kid not been born yet? The fear never quite leaves me, but the guidance and grace of divine has rekindled some hope within my jaded heart. The day stretches on. Night would fall and sun would rise, and I would continue forward. My long journey takes me through places I could never have imagined. I would pass. Some I recognized in the stories Eros told me, and those leave me with a bittersweet taste every time I turn to leave. If I were more patient, would he have been by my side? If I just waited a little longer, would it be his wings that carry me, not my tired, mortal feet? My heart yearns for his tender touch. My soul cries out for his. Him, heavy with pain and guilt. Through nights so cold and days broiling from the sun, I walk on. Sometimes the loneliness and fear comes crippling, but the wind blows on. Persephone's chiming voice keeps on whispering encouragement. So I press on. I have lost track of time, how many days I have traveled, when suddenly I know that I have reached my destination. I can hear the echoing cries of the dead before anything else, before the endless mist that tastes despair, before the endless shadows that lined a barren path for the dreaded underworld. The further I go, the less I can see. But is it darkness that hinders my vision, or just terror? I keep my head lowered, feeling chills, unnatural and deathly, drench my entire body. I do not dare look up ahead, but I keep my eyes to the ground, shivering whenever something or anything enters it. There's also a part in the actual myth where it's either a tower or arrows who sends her a message that tells her not to help anyone in the underworld, for they are illusions sent by Aphrodite. Keep my head lowered and my eyes closed for as long as I can. I soon find out the purpose of the case when I approach the massive three-headed dog, Cerberus. Slipping one of the treats near him distracts him just long enough for me to slip past. I make my way to the castle of Hades and Persephone. Upon entering, I hear a voice call out to me. I have to say I'm not the biggest of fans of their designs, specifically the crowns, but I can understand what they were going for. I'm not sure what the arrow in her chiton is. Psyche, you are here. Sitting upon jeweled thrones are the king and queen of the underworld. The goddess of spring is smiling down upon me, while the god of death stays stoic with the slightest nod of acknowledgement. I fall to my knees, bowing my head. You have done well so far. You have traveled very far. The gods are not blind to your actions. We are aware of your sufferings. Your resilience shall be rewarded. Thank you, Lady of the Underworld. What is the task you are giving, sweet Psyche? My Lady of the Underworld, the goddess of beauty, has asked me to borrow your beauty products to use for but one night. I could force the box given to me, bowing low. I see. I shall gladly grant your request, as it is Aphrodite who sent you. She gestures gently with her hand and smiles down upon me. Your task is completed. Go return to her. Thank you, my lady. Stay patient for a little while longer. Good things will come, young Psyche. Thank you. Quickly, I turn to make my way back, following the same course of action that brought me here safely. The shift in the air is almost too staggeringly drastic to bear. I collapse into the ground, heaving and clutching the now heavy box to my chest. Despite the exhaustion, a strange sense of euphoria caresses my mind. By the mercy of the gods, I'm here. I survived. I have now made it back from the underworld, and I'm alive. I cradle my stomach, weeping with relief and a tentative sense of hope. And we got another yay! Maybe. I do like how she actually played a part, and it's not just people took pity on her. I like how they did have her involved in having to gain their respects. Maybe, just maybe, I shall be reunited with Eros soon. My shaking steps take me to the entrance. In the middle of her temple, Aphrodite stands, radiant, her beauty thunderous with rage. Goddess, my lady Aphrodite, I carefully place the box down before her, keeping my eyes staring at the marble floor and making myself as small as possible. This is... How is this possible? Mortals cannot adventure to the underworld to survive. What about all those other people I mentioned? Are you playing a trick on me, wretched girl? I guess maybe it's because she's not a demi-goddess. How have you managed when no human can? Heavenly Aphrodite, I would never... My lady What? What possible reason could you have to interact, you worthless thing? I should have you beaten for this! The servant recoils and falls to the ground, bowing so low she is almost flattened to the ground. My lady Aphrodite, sorry for this lowly one's interruption, but the great Zeus, king of the gods, has summoned you and spit it out! Forget this was excellent, but he requests this slave girl's presence as well. I see. The goddess of beauty sends me a seething glare.
Very well then.
I wonder if these servants are actually the charities. Fear and anticipation flare within me. Is this what the Lady of the Underworld spoke of? Will my desperate pleas finally be heard? Will I finally get to see Eros again? The golden gates of Olympus are brighter than looking directly at the sun. I pass through them in days, unable to comprehend that I am entering the city of God. What are you waiting for? Move your feet, you impudent girl! Yes, goddess. She hugs and strides forward, keeping my head lowered. I scamper behind Aphrodite, fear and anticipation dancing in my chest. We made immortal for her dedication and perseverance. A voice, a familiar voice. Eros? Psyche! It is you. Relief floods me and drains me at the same moment. I pitch forward, tears cascading down my face, but my body never meets the floor. Psyche, are you alright? It is you. It is you. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not done what I did. I held out. Didn't mean to hurt you so. And he sighs his ring. I'm sorry. My love. My grief. Warm, strong arms gather me to his chest. The tidal wave of longing and nostalgia crashes against me. I cannot stop my tears from flowing. I cannot. Oh, you can actually see that his eyes are a little brighter blue than hers. I cannot stop me from clutching onto him, and as if he would melt away into the light the moment I let go. It's alright, my love. It's over. Yeah, where were you, by the way, when all of this was happening? His soothing words warmed my heart like a sweet drink on a winter's day. Enough of this nonsense! What is the meaning of this? Mother. Please tell me that this is nothing but an elaborate prank, my son. You're not supposed to be here. Am I not, when you have tormented my bride so? You dare— Silence! A voice, thunderous, rings out. Instinctively, I cower as Eros' wings unfurl, wrapping around me protectively. I feel touched by his gesture. It's such a relief to know that despite my actions, he still cares for me. Eros. My lord Zeus. Zeus, you must correct this light for me. Oh, Aphrodite, the whole of Olympus has witnessed your plight. But we have also witnessed this mortal's journey, her sins, her remorse, and her sufferings. The slight she has committed against you, Heavenly Aphrodite, is no fault of her own. Her admirers, ultimately her parents, pushed her into such a position. The girl herself is innocent. Then what other crime she committed against my son? To break an oath and to harm him so terribly? And she has been punished for her deed by you, Mother. You. As the crimes she truly committed were against me and me alone, I declare the mortal Psyche has atoned for her sins, and hereby absolved of all charges. Eros? Sweet Psyche. Sweet Psyche. I'm sorry you have gone through so much strife. I'm sorry too. What are you sorry for? I was the one who broke my promise. But your situation was not ideal, and only got worse when I left. I suppose we have both made my mistakes. Girl, how dare you say such a thing to my son? Again. Boy, mom, mother-in-law. The most terrifying villain in Greek mythology. Mother, please. She is, after all, my bride. Your marriage, this mortal, is unofficial at best and wedlock at worst. A ceremony arranged by mortals and witnessed by none does not call for her as your wife. Then I suppose a wedding officiated by Olympus and myself shall suffice, yes? A wedding witnessed by the gods? Eros' arms tighten around me, his smile gentle. Oh Zeus, king of the gods, this girl is but a mortal. No matter what she is laundered as, she cannot be important enough to become my son's wife. And that is why Eros was here earlier. Ugh, what do you mean by that? Eros, god of love, I hereby grant your request as the god of thunder and the king of Olympus. The mortal our Psyche shall be granted ambrosia for her perseverance and her determination. She shall be hailed as Psyche, goddess of the soul, from this day forward. Oh, is she gonna get her butterfly wings? 1,000 gratitudes, O king of the gods. 1,000 gratitudes! Other gods and goddesses gathered around at the center of Olympus chime in with their approval to hail me as the new goddess of the soul. The golden halls of Olympus shake with cheers. Eros laces her. That was actually a point, and actually she says she doesn't even know if he was going to live. brings me forward to receive Zeus's blessings. Immortality is a rush of unspeakable emotions, of the feeling of inevitability or removing the shadows of fear that have been clinging to me so long. And yet, the most treasured feeling I have at that moment is the happiest when Eros leans in and captures my lips in a kiss. Feeling our eternity together, it is acknowledged as my newfound divinity, and my husband's will be passed on to our child, that they will join us in immortality. My journey as a mortal girl has come to an end, though through fear and solitude I have endured it all, with only love as my guidance, my path from the shadow and darkness. I have endured it all with only love as my guidance, my path which is shadowed with light. The era of Psyche, the mortal one person of the gods is over, the time of Psyche, the goddess of soul, side by side with her love Eros, the god's love is come. True ending. Your history buff. Nothing bad head on? Oh, cool. I got 2 in 1. So yeah, I think this is a good enough place. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And it looks like Psyche's not only survived, but died. I'm a little sad we didn't get to see that the baby actually being born, but maybe that's saved for a specific ending. So yeah, in the mythology, the baby is head-on. So I won't be streaming tomorrow over the weekend, and maybe not even Monday, since I have a job to do. But I really am glad to anyone who tuned in and saw this. I enjoyed playing this game, and honestly, I really wanted to see some of the other endings, not the depressing ones, but I know there's one called Devoted Daughter-in-Law, where you can earn Aphrodite's blessing, and another where if you just wait the 40 weeks, you can't, where you wait the 40 weeks. So yeah, that's something I want to do, and, well, it looks like Psyche was reunited with her love, and everything lived and for as we know, they lived happily ever after. But for this one, I'm ending the broadcast. Goodbye.